I can't believe it. I can't believe we're here doing this video talking about Super Saiyan 4 finally after like 25 years being canon right now. If Toriyama wasn't your GOAT before, somehow, I don't know how you can front on him anymore. Dragon Ball Daima episode 18 just broke the internet, crashed streaming services, and sent a shockwave through the anime industry as Toriyama's final animated series just did the unthinkable. Last week's episode of Dragon Ball Daima brought us to the climax of the series as Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, and all of the allies that they've made along the way finally confront Goma, who, after merging with the Third Eye, has obtained unbelievable power. Supreme Demon King Goma in this new form has surpassed Goku and Vegeta to the extent that none of their attacks even leave a scratch on him. At the end of episode 17, however, as Goku is moments away from being wiped out by a massive attack by Goma, Goku finally decides that it's time to stop holding back and transforms into Super Saiyan 3. Dragon Ball Daima episode 18 is about to change everything, especially with that new interview from Yoku that released a few days ago, confirming that a large amount of inspiration came from Dragon Ball GT. So hang tight, because this one is about to get nuts. If you guys haven't already, subscribe to the channel and turn those notifications on so you never miss an upload as soon as they go live, and consider leaving a like on the video just for Super Saiyan 4 at this point, finally being a part of the main story in Dragon Ball. But without further ado, let's hop right in. Right away, just from the spoilers alone, I'm confident in saying that this is going to be my favorite episode of Daima so far. We start off with Goku transforming into a Super Saiyan 3 as we recap the end of last week's episode, saying he guessed he has no choice anymore. The power pole strap across his chest snaps, his hair lengthens, and his power skyrockets. This moment allows Vegeta, Piccolo, and Shin to get back to safety as now Goma's entire attention is back on Goku, thinking that this transformation is just more of some funny magic or whatever. Goku raises his power again and begins flying towards Goma, but in an instant he appears in front of him and lands a crushing punch to the Demon King's gut. I haven't seen Goku look this serious in the entirety of Daima, so it's good to know that even as a child he retains this side of himself. The only thing that worries me is just how long he can maintain Super Saiyan 3 in this body. His speed and power seem to match, if not slightly exceed Goma's finally though, but how long can he keep this up? Goma recognizes this as well, but luckily the Majins and Tamagami jump back into the battle momentarily to help Goku again as well. Majin Buu was knocked out during the exchange, but Majin Buu knows just the thing to power him up. He actually tosses a giant cookie across the battlefield right into Majin Buu's mouth, and after eating it, he is instantly brought back to strength, almost like he had a sensu bean or something. This was pretty funny. He even tries to copy Goku's powering up by creating hair of his own with his body and raising his power just like him, so we get this funny but still cool scene of Super Saiyan 3 Goku and what I'm just gonna call Super Saiyan 3 Majin Buu powering up side by side. Their teamwork is nothing short of impressive too. I mean, Goku and Majin Buu look like they've been fighting together for a while, but after the massive outburst Majin Buu has, he exhausts himself just as fast and is knocked out of the fight again. Next, Goku and the Tamagami fight side by side to try and overwhelm Goma, but while it may seem like they had the upper hand, this is all just honestly making Goma angry, and we see that as he erupts into a power-surging rage, firing a beam that levels the battlefield around them and lands a direct hit on Goku. The way Goma just begins pounding Goku paws should be studied. I mean, when you're getting bounced off the ground repeatedly like a basketball, even in Super Saiyan 3, we might have an issue. Goma flies into the air and begins creating a massive ki blast above his head, kind of like a supernova fueled with magic, as all hope looks lost at this point for the Z Fighters. But this is actually when the unthinkable happens. Before Goma can release his attack, Neva appears in front of Goku, walking over to seemingly heal his injuries, but seeing as how Super Saiyan 3 isn't enough to deal with Goma in this state, he does a little more than that. Neva reaches out his hand and infuses Goku with what seems to be magic and energy all in one. If you guys remember a couple of episodes ago when Vegeta was fighting against the Tamagami, this looks similar to what Neva did back then as well. Nothing short of a massive power boost, but next we get a peek into Goku's psyche as we're taken off of the battlefield momentarily. Now, for those of you, any of you guys whatsoever that have been watching our coverage of Dragon Ball Daima through not only long form videos but short content as well, You could possibly remember me mentioning that if Super Saiyan 4 were to happen at whatever point in this series, then to make the absence of it in Dragon Ball Super make sense, it would probably be tied to the Demon Realm or someone in the Demon Realm to some extent, and that seems to be exactly what's about to happen here. There's no immediate explanation on what exactly Neva did to Goku besides give him a power-up, but it looks as if he activated something within his very DNA that's triggered. His hair changes color, fur appears all over his body, and strangely enough, his tail regrows from his backside. Goku erupts with a power never before seen in the main Dragon Ball timeline as Goma launches his attack at him. Goku catches it though, and with his newfound strength, launches it back into the sky. To the shock of everyone, allies and Goma alike, Super Saiyan 4 Goku has been born in one of the most magnificent ways we could have ever imagined. Right here, I do gotta stop and first of all, just be happy and excited that this actually happened. I mean, Super Saiyan 4 is finally canon after, what, 25 years of being restricted just to Dragon Ball GT, and even though it may look a little different, for the most part, it's the same idea. Goku's fur and hair are all completely red, but one cool thing I did notice about this is that his eyes and hair are the same, or at least a very similar shade of red as Super Saiyan God. Will this come up later in Dragon Ball Super? I really hope so, but that's one of the very first things I noticed, so maybe there will be some sort of connection between these two forms later on down the line, but I still gotta know how his tail grew back. That's like my one burning question about any of this. Goku and Goma charge at each other and continue going toe to toe and blow for blow, but when Goku stops his punch with a single hand and then slings Goma across the battlefield, he starts ping-ponging him back and forth, finally beginning to overwhelm the Demon King. Goku lands an absolutely crushing punch to Goma's torso, but the third eye gives him the strength to stay in the fight. He's able to return a punch and sends Goku flying across the battlefield, but he's able to stop himself, and then Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Goma go back to a back and forth that seems almost endless at this point, neither of them seeming to have a super clear upper hand. At this point, it seems like Goma's magic is far more powerful than we and probably Goku and the others initially thought as well, because I thought Goku would be the clear victor after taking on this form, but it's still toe to toe. When Goma uses his magic to raise a bunch of debris and rock pillars from the ground, Goku goes into full-on monkey mode with the way he's just like skating and maneuvering through all of this, which besides the transformation itself, this is hands down one of my favorite scenes in the episode. Just how he's moving right here during this animation is so cool. The way his aura outlines his body before he tosses this blast at Goma that nearly destroys the entire arena, like bro, just look at this guy. Aura is too much right here, and it seems like, kind of like in Dragon Ball GT, that the energy consumption from this Super Saiyan 4 form is much less than Super Saiyan 3, because by now, after all of these attacks and blasts, Super Saiyan 3 Goku probably would have been exhausted if not already fallen back to his base form. But Super Saiyan 4 Goku looks like he's just getting started. After getting at least some of their energy back and resting momentarily, Glorio, the Majins, Tamagami, and Piccolo and Shin join the fight again, but Vegeta still seems to be really injured for whatever reason and struggles to get back up. I don't know exactly what happened to Vegeta, and I know I'm probably coping when I say this, but maybe they're just letting him get a little more rest and saving him for an eventual fusion later. Is that greedy? Probably. I mean, we did just get Super Saiyan 4, but the join bugs have still yet to be used. I refuse to believe that this show wraps up and nobody at all uses them. And in the last episode, they did momentarily draw attention to Goku dropping his pouch with the bugs inside of it. Now, it's nice that all of these guys joined Goku again to help him fight, but they're still really not making much of a difference, with Goma's magic still giving him a massive upper hand. Not only is he physically superior, but his abilities like creating barriers to tank their energy attacks is just a cheat code in a situation like this. One other cool thing I do want to point out about Super Saiyan 4 Goku is the sound effects that they use when Goku is moving at a high speed in this form and charging at Goma. They opted to use the Kaioken flying sound effects, and I'm not gonna headcanon why that might be. I just thought that was a really cool little detail to add to this form. After being blasted out of a mountain, Goma charges back at Goku, but notices that his power is still steadily increasing. Glorio and Piccolo do their best to hold Goma off with the full power of their best attacks, but of course, they don't have a shot. What this does do, however, is give Goku the time he needs to charge one of his strongest attacks, a Super Kamehameha that shatters the very ground beneath him. Goma, shockingly though, and this is like the first time I've ever seen this happen in Dragon Ball, is able to get to him in time before he's able to fire this attack and knock him off of the pillar with a punch. As Goku flies backwards though from that punch, and this is like another first that I've ever seen in Dragon Ball, we can see that he's still charging his attack surprisingly enough. Goma braces himself as Goku spins around and fires the blast, but this Kamehameha is anything but normal. After it finally makes contact with Goma, Goku continues to imbue it with his new power, and it actually turns from a blue attack to orange before exploding and leaving this enormous crater underneath them on the battlefield below. When Goku lands back on the ground though, he notices a crater within a crater, and then something kind of concerning happens. The third eye shifts and then begins creating a massive barrier or aura around where Goma's body landed that keeps growing larger before engulfing the entire battlefield, and he begins rising out of the crater. The power of the third eye is clearly way more terrifying than we could have ever imagined, as Goma has grown in size even more and his power has continued to increase even further. Even Super Saiyan 4 Goku at this point is taken aback at the resilience and overwhelming strength Goma has obtained because of this, and he's blown away. When he tries to clash with Goma again, this time he's easily launched across the battlefield, but that's not all. Goma encapsulates Goku in this magical orb that strips him of his Super Saiyan 4 power up and causes him to fall back into his Super Saiyan 3 form, then Super Saiyan, then base form, as even Goku is stuck asking himself just how powerful the Tertian Oculus really is. All of a sudden, Glorio gets a ring on his walkie as Arinsu says that he needs to bring her the Dragon Balls immediately, so he goes to Hybis to gather the ones from his group. Arinsu says that she'll use the wish to become a more powerful Supreme Demon King, and she'll defeat Goma herself, ordering Glorio to hurry and summon Porunga. And she would also reveal that this is why she had him learn the Namekian language. But it's clear that after everything he's been through with Goku and the others, that Glorio is having second thoughts. However, he still summons the dragon. Porunga erupts from the Dragon Balls after Glorio says the incantation, drawing the entire battlefield's attention to the newly summoned dragon. This Porunga looks identical to Planet Namex, as Bulma mentions this as well, besides, being red of course, and presumably far stronger than Namekian Porunga, as he easily flicks Goma away, who tried to destroy him and disrupt the wish. It's now or never at this point. Glorio could very well make Arinsu the new Demon King, or he could redeem himself and save his new friends. So, he does it. He translates his wish to Porunga, and that is where Dragon Ball Daima episode 18 is gonna end. Easily the best episode of the series so far in my opinion. The ups, the downs, the action, the transformation, the shock at the end with Porunga, amazing. And I hope you guys enjoyed it just as much as I did. I really think that this is going to be the episode that attracts a lot of new Dragon Ball fans to the series, which was probably their goal. So if that was the goal with this one, I mean, bravo, you guys did an amazing job. This one was definitely one that's going to go down in history. But down below in the comments, fellas, let me know what you guys thought and what you think Glorio might have wished for. Do you think he wished for Goku and the others to finally be turned back into adults? Do you think he wished for everyone that was fighting besides Goma to be healed? Do you think he gave Arinsu her wish? Or is it something completely different that maybe we're not even expecting? We are 2 episodes away from the conclusion of Daima, and there are still a lot of questions left to be answered, but Super Saiyan 4 Goku being canon, in my opinion, is the highlight of not only this episode, but the show itself. Of course, they couldn't let Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta be the coolest thing that we've ever seen. Nah, we knew it. We knew that Goku was gonna have to get something even better than Vegeta. That's just how it always goes. Anyways, fellas, I cannot wait to read the comments on this one, so be sure to leave them down below, because I can't wait to see what you guys thought. But anyways, have a great day, and I'm gonna see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.